Good morning, good morning. How are you guys doing today? Favorite rambling redhead. It's a beautiful morning out here. It's a Monday, and it's going to be an interesting day because I have no idea what I'm doing today. I have nothing planned. I have nothing going on. I have some things that I need to look at, but what we're going to do today. But here's what I do know. Unfortunately, I've only got 2 birds now. I have had absolutely terrible luck here recently with these birds, and I hate it. Because I'm quite fond of them. They're pets, they're backyard flock, they're egg layers, whatever you want to call them. But unfortunately, somehow or another, I had Popeye get up on this, right there, on this bird bath a couple days ago, and she somehow flipped it over on herself. Don't really know how. Came home from work, looking out the back window. I'm like, why in the world is my bird bath upside down? That thing's heavy. It's made out of concrete. It was full of water. I'd filled it the night before when I moved the pool. And somehow she hopped up there and flipped it over. So anyway, we're down to 2 birds. It's also, ironically enough, 1 year ago yesterday, we got our first 3 chicks. Unfortunately, we did lose one of them the day after we got them, I think. He just was unhealthy when we got him or whatever. We lost Lucy in a windstorm that blew over my grill a month ago or so, and then we lost Popeye yesterday, so that's really sucked. We're down to 2 birds, and we're not going to get any more this year. We're only allowed 4 while we're here on this property, so it'll just be these 2 guys for, I don't know, however long until we figure out what our next steps are going to be for that or when that's happening. But I'm walking around out here and I'm looking. I am remembering I do need to, as you can see, they really enjoy pulling out all their bedding. So I'm going to add a 2x4 across that doorway there, because what happens is they go to digging inside in the bedding, because I think I'm putting too much in there for them, and they throw it all out the door when they're trying to dig in it. So I'm going to do that today. Just kind of over here looking at my garden. It's looking awesome. We were told that we can fry these dogs, always barking. The garden is looking great. I just noticed. So we trimmed up this romaine and we used it for lunch after church yesterday. I've got one of these stalks that she's headed to the moon. What's going on there? But I'm going to have to get in there and weed eat today, because those buckets, they do drain quite well. So that automated waterer has done an excellent job watering underneath there. So it's supposed to get to 90 today. So I reckon things will dry out pretty well this afternoon, and I'll hop in there and weed eat that when it's dry. And then I've got some shelves for the pantry that I put together I need to show you guys. For the pantry in the camper. It's got 2 tall pantries, or 2 tall cabinets that didn't have shelves in them, that I went ahead and made some shelves for right before we left. I'll show you guys today. Those are pretty trick, like them. And I'm probably going to burn all this wood off today too. I might have to get out the campfire here. But I think that's pretty much all I got going on. Not a ton, not really a lot going on today. Gonna get some rest. It's nice. I'm gonna come out here and do some organizing, cleaning my shop. Tools are put away, but that's about it. Everything else is kind of a disaster. I need to come up with a better way to store the generator, because right now it's just kind of sitting right here next to the door. I got a ton of wood in here. It's all scraps and short stuff. I have a pile that has everything that's shorter than, or longer than 18 or so inches. I think shorter than 18 inches pretty much goes into my scrap bin. But I haven't got rid of my scrap bin in quite some time, so this place is just getting kind of full. So I need to kind of go through that and clean that up today as well. That's everything I think I've got going on. Not a ton. This will probably be a pretty short video for you guys. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video if you feel so inclined. We have been doing better and better with every video, which has been really cool. Quite enjoying that. I just posted last week our first off-grid trip, and that's doing quite well in its first day being up. So yeah, I'm gonna walk out to the camper as well, make sure I'm not forgetting anything out there, but just not a ton to do today. But hey, I'll get back with you guys in just a little bit. Alright, so obviously the camper is still in travel mode from coming home, but in our slide we have these 2 cabinets. In these cabinets, they were really tall, so you ended up with a whole lot of extra space. So I put these shelves together that lift out. So if for whatever reason my wife did need to put something taller in there, she can just pull it out. It's just a simple piece of plywood that needs to be painted. Some boards glued onto it that hold these outsides in place, and these pull out too. So we can grab those if we wanted to and didn't need the space in here for whatever reason. Pull out those 3 pieces. I can put them in a little storage compartment and she can have that whole space back. But otherwise, gives a really nice little shelf. It's completely removable, completely temporary. And we also had to do something in here, so we've got this nifty little organizer in there now. But yeah, so I did get those done the other day. It was a nice little evening project one night. Well, apparently my rake has disappeared, so I don't know what's going on there. Maybe my brother-in-law has it, I'm not real sure. But I wish I could rake all that out, because just like when we mow, I like to spread that across all the barren areas here. The dogs run and whatever, and does a good job of bringing the grass back. So I haven't put any grass seed out there on any of that, but the grass has all come back in really well, just spreading that stuff across it. So I'm gonna track my rake down. I also need a rake over here where the coop is. They're next time we move them, they're gonna go back up to the top of the yard again, but for now they've been over here by the house. I think I'm gonna go ahead and move Rubber's pond back over here. Don't let my obnoxious duck fool you. I fill up that pool 2 to 3 times a week. However, if we get rain or anything, or there's mud, he loves to get in the mud, get it on his feet, then get in there, because he also loves to dig in the mud for bugs, which is good. He's doing his job, but he get that water dirty, and then he won't get in it anymore. Once it's dirty, it's murky, and he can't see, he won't get in. He's a spoiled white duck. But as soon as I put fresh water in there, man, you got the happiest duck in the world. He'll be in there for most of the rest of the day, just hanging out over there. Alright, well, I thought it was going to be the afternoon. I was at no shop working on putting together this little piece of trim. And my wife comes out to me and says, hey, I turned off the air conditioner, and the water is pouring out of the bottom of the AC unit. So our AC unit's an add-on unit, and it has a condensation pump, and apparently it has stopped working. So I'm going to figure that out. So with a add-on AC unit like ours, this unit right here, you get a condensation pump because there wasn't a line run outside for the condensation water to run through when it was put in, obviously. And it looks like, since the pump was running and it's still full of water, that either the inlet on the inside of this pump is clogged, which it shouldn't be, or there is the pump itself has gone bad. So I'm going to fish it out of here and we're going to see what we come up with. Alright, so this is what the inside of these pumps looks like, and this one is yucky. Right there you can see where that is the muck that comes out of our AC unit. It looks like I have a clog right there. I'm going to plug it in. You can hear the relay clicking right there on this float. So when it gets enough water in there to float this up, because normally it would be mounted like this. So as this rises up on the fluid, it turns on the pump and it's supposed to shoot it out right here. So either this is completely clogged up, or this line maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull this whole thing apart and figure it out. Alright, so there's the card for the float. So So as that rises up, you can see the switch right there that hits. Turns everything on and off. Pump spins. Oh, look right there. That's not a good look. See that rust right there? That's not what we want to see. So the pump runs. So hopefully then we can just rinse this out really well, and it will be back to working. That's at least what we're going to try.
That's supposed to be there?
Yeah, that's the check valve that keeps water from going back into it once it comes out.
Where'd your flashlight go?
It's in my pocket. So what I'm doing is I've put the hose on the end. If you look down this hole right here, that's the hose on the end of the pump. So once that gets to the point where it starts to run, hopefully we'll see water start to come out of there. Oh! Unplug it. Alright. So it looks like we've cleared up whatever clogging was going on there, hopefully. So I'm going to run to the store, buy a couple of clamps, and put this back together. See if that got it. Alright, so I ran up to Ace Hardware, grabbed a couple of new clamps, and throw on here, put this back together, and then I grabbed a piece of hose that I have so I can run some water through here and try and descale the inside of it just a little bit with some hot soapy water, hopefully. So I'm going to throw this thing back together, and hopefully it works like it's supposed to. Alright, so we want to make sure we get the check valve back in there, which is this little guy. So what that's doing is it only allows water to travel in one direction. When the water's coming this way, it can push up on it, but because of that ring on it right there, when the water is trying to flow back into the pump, this pushes down, seals against the bottom, and prevents water from flowing back in here from the line. This was originally designed with the line running through our attic. Then a mouse got a hold of it and chewed a hole in it, and we had water running down the walls. So I ran a line that goes through my teenager's closet to the outside that we've been a lot better off with, because we still periodically have a mouse problem. It's a side effect of living next to a big old field, I guess. But mice don't seem to spend too much time in my teenager's closet, thankfully. Just the dog in there. Alright, so I'm going to tight put this piece of hose on here, fill this up with hot soapy water, and I'll get back with you in just a second. Alright, so I have it filled back up with soapy water. I got our dish soap in there as well as some Dawn Power Wash. That's seated back down. So clamp. This line back on it, and as soon as we give this power, it should immediately start pumping. Okay. So we're definitely getting plenty of flow now. Alright. That should be as long as it has to run. But I'm going to run some more water through that because I don't think that was enough. See if they can outrun our sink. Looks like you can. Look there. So this, I think, was probably our problem. That is all the muck and yuck and nastiness that the AC has pulled out of the air in the last, I guess, 3 years, or however long we've had this thing now, that it was pumping into my pump. So I guess I'll have to do this periodically. As you can see, there's a ton of water down here. Then we're going to have to get sopped up in our return. The bottom of this guy is pretty wet as well. But that's the line that runs outside. And then this is the condensation line for the actual AC unit. Could almost, it looks like, connect that directly to the outside line. I bet it'd drain. But we're going to leave the pump in place for now anyway. So I have one more thing that I need to do. Make sure that the line's not clogged, unfortunately. No. I can blow through that line just fine, so I know it's not clogged up. Alright, well that looks like it got that. But we're just waiting for the teenager to get home right now so that we can run up to Walmart. They have a self-serve station there that we can rent a carpet dryer from. Big fans, so we're going to go pick up one of those here in just a little bit. But I did go ahead and finish the little trim board for that door. Slap that up there real quick. Do need to paint the door on it, but I'm not in any rush today. It's kind of warm and I'm kind of tired, so I think I'm done here for the day. It's all of a sudden being in the hallway trying to figure out why there's water coming out of the bottom of the AC was not what I had planned for today. But at least I was able to fix it. So anyway, I've been your favorite Rambling Redhead. If you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time. Bye.